Yeah, so just quickly, because you're using the term God, and there's a lot of confusion about this term God, that it's ambiguous. But this is what, for example, Irenaeus says, who's a well-known church father, respected saint of the church, on John 17:3. Listen to this. He says, "Now to whom is it not clear that if the Lord had known many fathers and gods, he would not have taught his disciples to know only one God," John 17:3, "and to call him alone Father." But then listen to this part. "But he did the rather distinguish those who by merely word are termed gods, from who is truly God, that they should not err as to his doctrine, nor understand one in mistake for another. And if he did indeed teach us to call one being Father and God, while he does from time to time himself confess other fathers and gods in the same sense, then he will appear to enjoin a different course upon his disciples from what he follows himself." You see that he's saying, he's basically commenting on John 17:3, which says that only the only true God is the Father. But then he says, well, wait, some people are going to ask, why is he mentioned as in the Gospels and such, calling other individuals gods, like in this passage or others? Well, oh, doesn't your text say ye are gods, right? And he says, but don't be confused, because the reason for John 17:3 is to distinguish between those who are merely God in terms of name from who is truly God. And he says he brings this up so that they don't err in their doctrine from understanding that the one and only true God is the Father. And so I just thought it was quite interesting, and to kind of back up what you were saying, Ali. Hope that was helpful.
A magnificent, brother, as you always sensationally giving your brilliant input. Did you check that out, brother Fro? What brother Jake said?
Yeah.
Absolutely sensational bit of information that Jake always imparts, that even they distinguish between who God is and who are referenced as gods. Marvelous. Jazakallah, brother
Yeah, and
Jake, for
that's
that.
Irenaeus, just so people know. This is not like some nobody. This is a big time church father. And I was actually, because I came across this when doing some research for a course I'm going to be teaching. I was just absolutely shocked on his commentary on John 17:3. I said, wow, this is really, I mean, this is the point that Muslims are making all the time, right? Like, question is, well, is somebody God just because the name is used and applied and so on with Elohim or these other terms? And he says, John 17:3 is specifically to show you, look, there's a difference between the one and only true God, which is the Father alone, and these other beings that may be called God. And he explicitly says in a different sense. So, yeah. And then he says that the reason is so that his disciples would not err and understand what he himself, Jesus Christ, truly followed. So I just thought it was absolutely interesting.